Welcome to Winchester News Online as we continue our coverage of the Bison season 2008 to 2009. And joining me in the studio today is a man that either the fans love or the opposition fans love to hate, but he's proved a lot of his critics wrong this year, recording a career high for points and for penalty minutes. Jeremy Cornish, thank you very much for joining us in the studio here. I mean, you've had quite a few years in this country now. You've had many interesting seasons over here, but has this been the hardest season that you've had to endure as a professional hockey player?
Yes, by far. It's been a battle all year long, and we had a tough year in London when that team folded, but we got to all move on really quickly. And this, when this team kind of struggled for a couple of weeks there with Thomas, and then we got picked up by playing nice. Things didn't really pick up the way we wanted to.
I was going to say this about. I was going to ask, how does this compare to your year in London? I mean, obviously they closed mid-season and Basingstoke somehow survived throughout the year. But is there any real comparisons you can draw between the two? Or?
No, not really. I think that with Basingstoke there was always lingering rumours. When it happened in London, it was done. We just got a call one day, and we didn't even know what was going to happen. And I was fortunate enough to go up to Newcastle, and I didn't even miss a beat. I just moved my stuff, and away we went, and finished off a good year there.
Did you feel it was getting close to closing midway through the season? Did you think, here we go again, I'm going to have another year like I had at London where I've got to find another team halfway through the season?
No, we kind of had heard, things about Plan Nice that they would take over and there would be no problem. At my age, I didn't really get too worried about it, and I was trying just to keep calm and try to get some sleep at night when we were worried about our employment. But no, I think that we knew they'd come in, and as far as I was concerned, they were going to come in and take care of it.
You also had a turbulent year last year. I mean, you were released by Sheffield halfway through the season and had to move back home to play in the IHL. What made you return to Britain? Was it always your plan to come back here and have another season in Britain?
Yeah, I think that I had to prove it to myself that I could play in the league. Obviously, that was a raw deal that happened in Sheffield. I felt I wasn't the guy that should have won at that time. I was doing my job, I thought, quite well there, and maybe I was used a bit there at the time, and that's fine. And to come back and have a personally had an okay year. So the team, obviously didn't do as well as I would have liked, but to come back and play a consistent shift and fight and take care of business, I was quite happy with that.
When you signed, Ryan Aldridge was obviously coaching the team here. What impression did the club did he give you before you even joined?
I think just that we were going to be stable, and he was happy that they'd finally got an owner that was going to be able to come in and take care of that stuff. But obviously kind of went wrong, and we had to move on.
When you saw the team first on paper and you first thought, right, this is who I'm playing with this year, what did you expect from? I mean, you've spent years over here. What did you think the team would do in the Elite League this year?
Well, I thought the team was going to be really, really good. On paper, we had big, strong defensemen, and we had good forwards. We were missing one import centerman at the start of the year, and we were kind of just saving and waiting for that key guy that we never found. But I think if that team had stuck together for, it's hard to say because we lost the first 10 games, but that team looked good on paper. But the problem is you get new guys that come new to the country. Sometimes they have a tough time adjusting. There's some guys who don't do as well back home will do better here. So it's hard to find. You got to find a right mix of guys that have played in the league and not played in the league before.
The year before, obviously, Basingstoke had the problem with David Taylor pulling out halfway through the season, and Thomas came in and took over the side. Were you aware of this before you joined the Bison? Did this play on your mind in making the decision to come to Basingstoke?
I did a bit. I just think with the university program, I just took a bit of a gamble on it, and we moved down. I'm not sure really, we had heard all the rumors and stuff like that, but it is what it is.
Were you given any assurances by Thomas before he came in that the club would be stable, would be here for the whole year, or was it just come play for me?
Yeah, I didn't really talk to him at all, to be honest with you. Right. I was kind of through Cruikshank and Aldi the most part, but I've been through lots of hockey in Britain, and I know that it could have been this team, or it could have been Cardiff, it could be anybody that just shuts up shop, and those are just the risks you have to take sometimes.
Before the season even began, I mean, Zoom Airlines collapsed, which sort of started off the Bison's problems for the year. Had you made it over to Britain by the time they collapsed?
No, I hadn't been over yet. That was a big loss for our club and a lot of money, so that he had to pull out a lot of money to fly these people over and get the team started. But that was just the start of the problems, really.
And were you making any plans to sort of go to another team during this period, or was your eyes always firmly on the Bison?
Yeah, I was going to stay here because even at that time, there were rumors that Plan Nice was going to take over, so right. I was coming here no matter what.
Did you ever think you were going to make it to Britain? In terms of, did you think this could be it? The Bison could fold. Even Planet Ice might not come in.
Yeah.
Did you ever think, wake up one morning and think, crikey, I might not make it over for another season?
Yeah, I did think about that quite often. I was stuck at home kind of for a while there, getting my visa stuff sorted out, and kind of I'd get a call from Aldi, then I'd get a call from Cruikshank, and then, it was just every day for about 2 weeks it went on for, so it did drag on quite a bit, yeah.
Was it frightening to receive these phone calls from people saying, just hang in here, guys, hang in, we're going to have a team, we're going to be playing?
Yeah, it was just a bit of a pain, really. Like, if I was starting my career, I'd start panicking about it, but like I said, if worse had come to worse, I needed to go back down south and play, I would have went back to the States.
Did you notice any changes at all immediately following the collapse of Zoom? Were you being told that you're not going to receive this in your contract, you're not going to receive that, or was it a case of come over here, it's all sorted?
No, it was all the same. There was nothing changed, no.
That's interesting, really. It's quite sort of challenging sort of hearing all the sides of it, because, I mean, obviously Kevin spent time over there. Were you in touch with some of your current teammates that were over there, sort of waiting around and sort of going, don't worry, guys, when you get over it, it'll be fine?
I was one of the first guys to come over, so I was kind of over first, and then...
having to deal with that all.
That's right.
I mean, the team you mentioned earlier on about the season beginning with that 10-match losing run. What was going through your mind at this point? Were you thinking, here we go, another losing season, or were you thinking we can turn this round when we get it all settled?
Well, I think there was some times where I thought we could turn it around. I think there was quite a few guys that had trouble adjusting to the league. It is a different league than back home. It's just a different league all around, and some guys, like I said before, come over and they do a lot better than they did back home, and some guys come over and they just don't adjust and don't like it, because it's just not run the same way. And if you can't accept that, then that's the way it is. Like if there's things that you like about home and you can't deal with not having them here, or vice versa, then you're more suited to play back home.
Do you think this sort of swayed sort of Ryan's decision to leave, that the fact he hadn't quite got the team together he wanted, and it sort of wasn't really working for him, that he thought that was the reason he left, or was there other circumstances that meant he departed from the club?
Well, I just think Ryan Aldridge is a stand-up, honest guy, and to deal with who his boss was at the time, I think it was just too much for him. He's probably one of the most honest people I've met in hockey, and to have answer phone calls and where's this and that's owed, and where's our cars and where's our flats and things like that. I don't think Aldi could handle it.
And was this the general reaction of the players? Was everybody feeling fair on him?
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't want the pressure that he had at that time. He's too good of a guy to have that happen to.
Well, it's funny you talk about the pressure, because after Ryan's departure, you became one of the assistant coaches at the club. Was this a role you were looking forward to having with the team, or had you expected to receive this role?
No, I didn't really expect it, but I think just as a senior kind of member of the team, I thought it was, at the time, it was good. We had put a good run together at the start, and then, just some things kind of got in our way from bringing players in, and that was just kind of how that ended.
How did it come around, this position? I'm sort of interested there. Was it just Thomas coming up to you and saying, you become the assistant coach for me, or was Eric sort of saying, could you come help me out?
No, I think Thomas just asked Chubbs, Bradford and myself if we would do it. So it was something I was looking forward to. Like, it was something that still in the future I'd still like to do, under different circumstances, of course. But it was a good experience.
And what did your position? What were you told that you'd be looking after when you came into the position of assistant coach for the club?
Well, I just think mainly recruiting and running practices, and just Bradford was going to oversee the main thing, and then if I could help with recruiting or any little bits that I'd like to do, like I like running practices and stuff like that. So anywhere I could chip in, that's all I really wanted to do.
Do you feel you were able to help out in your role as the assistant coach to some of the guys who are new to the league and sort of tell them how it works in this country?
Yeah, I don't think any more than just being a captain of the team, being one of the assistant captains, I did the same thing. So I don't think it was really any big change for me. So
just weeks after you became the assistant coach, Thomas walked out of the team. I mean, how did you find out about his departure from the arena?
I don't even, just did a Kaiser Soze, just disappeared, didn't he? I'm not sure. I don't really remember exactly what it was like when he first left, but I guess he was just gone and no one could find him, and that was the end of it. So, what was your reaction to it when you heard the news that your owner had walked out on you? It didn't surprise us at that point. Right. There was a lot of things going on with the team that people don't really probably realize, but it was there's a lot of distractions, just basic. So it was no surprise when the guy left. One of the big problems that sort of is being talked about is the housing situation the players had, that the number of moves they had to make, and how they were having eviction notices and how they're having the pay list come around. Was this a similar situation for you, or was it? No, we didn't get an eviction notice until like the last week or something. So ours was paid up for the first couple months. I just think that I think we had guys moving house literally every 2 days, and that's like pack and unpack. And Tom would say, you're there you're there now, and settle in, and someone would settle in, and then it would be another call or another knock on the door. So it's hard to kind of complain about everything, because we're really lucky being hockey players, and it's the best job that I could ask for. But with those distractions all the time, it was just too much.